As a fighting game community member, working with Razer has been such a great experience. A few years ago when Razer first got into the fighting game scene during the Street Fighter 4 days, they came into the scene with the Aatrox, and then eventually they started branching out to other consoles and other games. I remember having a conversation with Min, the CEO, a few years ago, and he was talking about just how passionate he was with not only fighting games, but also the community that plays them. And it was such a great experience to be able to work with the team here and to be able to really create something that fighting gamers would be able to appreciate, but not only that, use that feedback and create products that really take us to another level and really evolving the product base that what we have in fighting games and making amazing arcade sticks and now an amazing gamepad controller. It really is a good time to be a fighting game fan alongside with Razer. We were working on arcade sticks for the longest time. We had the Aatrox, we had the Panthera, and then the Panthera Evo. But there was a segment of a controller that we really didn't have, and that was the fighting game pad. And it's something that, again, a lot of players are used to. I mean, it wasn't until recently that we started working on this project, the Raion, which is really, I think, fills in another segment within the fighting game space. A lot of people nowadays, they're playing on controllers, they're playing on what comes with the console, but there really wasn't a solution for the fighting game pad. The fight pad essentially is something that I think has a lot of potential, especially for newer fighting games. And seeing that there's a need for that in the market, I think Razer has finally stepped up and kind of met that demand. I am glad to see that we're working on something that is for the fighting game fans and for the fighting game community.
I prefer using the fight pad over an arcade stick. One, it's smaller, so it's easier to carry around to events. You don't have to carry additional baggage. Two, I was raised on control pads, so I wasn't really from the arcade era, so I just grew up playing pads, so I've maintained that. I sort of play for representing the control pad sort of guys. Like whenever I win events, they're like, yeah, you do it for the pad players. The advantage of using a 6-button layout over a 4-button layout is you can access the buttons on the fighting games a lot easier. Usually they come in forms of light, medium, heavy. It's way easier to access those buttons on a 6-button layout because they're all right next to each other. And then you can use your triggers for like the special attacks that require more than one button.
A fight pad really gets the best of both worlds. In this particular product, you have the classic arcade style layout with the 6 buttons. You also have the tactile responsive D-pad and just so much more and so much more care that goes above and beyond what you would have from your standard controller. And I think that's the beauty of the Raion. It really caters towards the fighting game player and the arcade style player that maybe doesn't want to use an arcade stick or doesn't want to be able to adjust and learn how to play, but they want to kind of graduate from using the standard controller to something better. And that's exactly what the Raion's here for.